So the original vision was to have some kind of glass plate or plexiglass plate, and it'd be a table kind of thing where you have a bunch of word blocks and you can arrange them any way you want. And the computer always knows what order the blocks are in, and it's always looking at everything. It has the big picture, so it could kind of instantly update the sentence that you're working on the computer and give you ideas for things to add to the sentence, or it could read you the story that has a similar sentence in that story. So you make a sentence and then you get a bunch of sentences that relate to it, kind of. And this idea was simplified down to having one row of word blocks that you pass through a scanner, because the camera that we're using and the software we're using isn't sophisticated enough to be able to look at 10 QR codes at once. It just focuses on one at a time. So that's why we have this system with the laser, and the laser gets blocked and it knows, oh, it's time to read another one, and then it goes to the next one and decodes them one at a time. So here we have a block that says interesting, and we'll put it down, and there's some other blocks here that we're organize them into a sentence that we like. In this example, we'll just use this one word block. It says interesting on the front. On the back, we have a QR code. So we put this word block down. And then this table here has a sliding transparent palette. And we can slide it underneath this scanner here. And as it slides underneath the scanner, it should decode the QR code on the bottom and know what word to put down. So in this example, I slid it underneath. And then the output that it gets, it should say, this is interesting, right? It finds the word interesting.
So we took a book from Project Gutenberg, in this case, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. We can certainly expand on that, but we started out with one book. And what it basically does on the computer is it takes the word that we got from the QR code, so again, interesting in this case, and it looks for an occurrence of the word interesting in the entire book. It does some parsing, and out comes a sentence that contains that word. So in this case it spits out, and this promises to be interesting, which by itself might not be very meaningful, but will work to provide a broader context around that. A couple of things coming into play here. So you'll see that we'll have a laser here, and a photodiode here, and we have an Arduino down here, and it basically constantly reads the value from that photodiode. The laser is obviously very bright, so we're reading a bunch of values which are right now I think around 100 or 110, and if you move the wooden block into place we get a value of 45, 50, so there's a difference there that the computer can actually meaningfully recognize. And so once it does that, we know that there's the wooden block there, so there's a QR code, so we should be recording, having the camera take pictures in a loop, so when it doesn't always recognize the word immediately, so it keeps on trying until it does.